Hey, hello everyone. Good morning, good evening. Welcome to Easy Cloud Trip. Today we are going to see a Python. This is the first step of Python. So I hope everyone knows what is Python. I don't need to waste time to explain what is Python. It is a booming one. So everyone should aware of what is Python. Python is an interpreter language and it is easy to understand and it is easy to learn and it is easy to write. So without wasting much time, so let's get started. How to start with the installation? Type just type python.org. So you'll go to the python.org site, click on downloads. So you'll there will be a download link for you. This will be the latest version for a Windows. Download Python. So your setup will get downloaded, and I have already installed this version. So I don't want to download it again, and I don't want to install it. You do it. So once the installation is very simple, just click next next. That's it. So once the installation is complete, we need to verify whether my Python got installed successfully or not, right? So what you need to do, go to CMD, just type Python version version. So this is how you need to check Python version, which is currently installed in your machine. You may have a multiple version installed. So for that, if I want to check how many version installed in my machine, for that what I need to do, if I put py space hyphen 0, it will list all the Python version which is installed in my machine, so that I will pick whichever version I'm comfortable with. So I'll go and start with my coding, right? So by default, for my machine, it has set as 3.11.4. If I want to change this default behavior, you can always change it. Go to environment variable, go to environment variable and go to a path, click on edit, and if you see here, I give a priority to 311 version, which is a 3.11.4 version. So you can also give a priority to 3.10 version, so that by default if I put a python hyphen version, it will always by default it will take 3.10 version. So this is how you need to change the default Python version of your machine. So I'm closing this one. So as of now, let it be. So it is always good to use a latest and stabilized version of Python. I'll close this. Now, second interesting thing is install Visual Studio Code. You can download your Visual Studio Code from here and you can install it. As a data engineer, it always good to use a Visual Studio Code for your coding. So this tool is very much compatible with all type of connectivity. If you want to connect to a SQL server, yes, you can do. If you want to connect to a Git, you can do. If you want to connect to Azure, you can do. So there are a lot of extensions available by using in Visual Studio Code. I already installed it. So once you installed it, this is how it will look like. So you need to go for an extension, and you can install whatever the extension you need. So you just type Python. I already installed this extension. Or So once you installed this extension, now you are ready and set to go to start your coding in Python. So what I'll do, I've created some sample project here, demo. I don't have anything under this much. I hope everyone knows how to create a sample project, right? So just to create your uh, file, open folder. So create some folder for you and click OK. Then that's it. That's how you need to create it. So now I have created a demo folder, and what I'm going to do as a first step for a Python, it is always good to create a virtual environment. Okay, so virtual environment is nothing but we are going to create our own virtual environment according to our requirement of coding. Okay, so we are going to install more libraries. Okay, going forward, we are going to install more libraries. So we should have a control whatever we are going to do, right? So that's why we always good to work inside our virtual environment. So that's the purpose. So for installing a virtual environment, what I'm going to do, click on new terminal. So there are two ways to install a virtual environment. So one is control. I'll show you two ways. Control Shift P. Okay. So the interesting thing about the virtual environment is I have a two version in my machine. Okay. I can create a two virtual environment, one with the version 3.11.4 and another with the version 3.10. Okay. So that's what we are going to do. Control Shift P. If you click Control Shift P, this is how it will look like. Now you can go ahead and create virtual environment. So virtual environment by default you can click VENV. If you go for a Conda, so that is a different concept. Anaconda, if you install the Anaconda, it will by default have everything. So as of now, I'm not going for a Conda. Like as of now, I'm going for a by default VNV. So it shows how which Python version you want to install it. First, we will have a virtual environment by with this 3.10.11 version. So if you click here, it will show you the progress. You can also see the logs, what are all the commands it is firing. Okay, my virtual environment is created. Now I'm expanding this one. If you expand this virtual environment, there will be the three folders. One is for specifically for libraries. What under the libraries you're going to install it, it will become under this and scripts. Basically, this is where the pip.exe, python.exe will reside inside this folder. And as of now, what I'm going to do, uh, just to click on a terminal, new terminal. So by default, if you click on a new, open a new terminal, by default it will pick up this environment. Okay, select this virtual environment. What I'm going to do, I don't want to select this virtual environment as of now. I'm going to deactivate it. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create another virtual environment with the 3.11.4 version. That is what I'm going to do. So for that, what I'm going to do, create environment VNV. And if you see, I'm not going to create by through this method. What I'm going to do, I'll just check the path. Okay, just go to that path, one, select this path. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going through by a code. Okay, slash python.exe hyphen m venv. Okay, and I'm going to give uh, dot venv to. So this is how. So now I have specifically mentioned I'm going to create a virtual environment with 3.11.4 version. Okay, I'll show you the difference. Okay, my first environment is .venv. My second environment is .venv2. Okay, so what I'm going to do, first I'm going to check .venv version. Okay, that is what I'm going to do. Dot slash venv scripts activate. So Python hyphen version. My Python version of .venv is 3.10.11. If I right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to check for this second virtual environment. Dot slash dot venv2 slash scripts activate. Python version. My second environment, virtual environment version is 3.11.4. So this is how you need to work. Okay, if, depending upon the you always free to switch the Python version, and you can execute your code under the version. Okay, so as of now, what I'm going to do, deactivate. Okay, so we will start creating a first program. What I'm going to do, just click once. This is a creation of a file, creation of a folder. I'm going to create hello world dot py dot py. You should not miss. If you want to create a Python file, then dot py is a default extension. So what I'm going to do, print hello world. That's it. Now I'm going to execute this file. For that, I want to activate my environment, Python hello world dot py. So you got an output, hello world. This is how you need to execute your Python, and you need to give a file name. You can also get an input from a user. So that also I'll show you. Now I'm going to now, second thing, this is the first part. So if you want to get an input from a user, so you can use there is a different thing. Okay, like you can use a input keyword inside your program, and also you can use a argument function inside your program. So we will be going one by one. This is the first step. I hope everyone is clear. Print hello world is clear. So next thing, what we will do, we will get an input from a user. Depending upon the input, we will manipulate few things inside a Python file. That's what we are going to do. And important thing here is the libraries. We need to talk about our libraries. So as of now, I didn't install any external libraries here. So for that, what we need to do, always it's good to have a requirement.txt. Always it's good to have a requirement.txt. Understood? As of now, requirement.txt, which tells you what all the libraries I'm going to install it. If you don't have a requirement.txt, who a third person or a external developer, like who you are developing a thing, you know what all the libraries and what are the dependencies for your Python file. If anyone is coming from the outside, so those person also need to know, right? For if they are using, they are going to using this file, they need to know what all the libraries is installed. Or else if you're going to move this utility from one system to another system, if you want to install into another system, then of course you should be aware, right? So what are all the libraries need to get installed. So here also a control, so you can control, right? You can pandas, you can numpy. So if I'm going to install the two libraries, okay, pandas and numpy. So what I'm going to do, pip install -nor requirements.txt. So that's it. So if you give a list of libraries inside your requirement.txt, and if you are installing that one, that's it. You are good to go. This will install all your libraries. Okay. The inside a pandas also we do have a different version. Inside a numpy also we do have a different version. If you want to have the version also, you can able to give it through by requirement.txt. For that you need to put some equal to and give your version. So it will go. That's it. So this is where the requirement.txt will help you. So any other person, if anyone comes tomorrow and if they check the environment, requirement.txt, okay, these are all the libraries we required to run this Python file, they know, right? Got it. As of now, this is, I think, good for a first step. So next step, what we will do, we will go much in depth. Okay, slow by slow. We will try to get input from a user. We will manipulate it, and we will play around with pandas library and also numpy. and we will do a lot of things. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for your valuable time.